Welcome to this session of Product Design and Value Engineering. This is Pratik Muradia and today we will discuss material selection process. This is our third session in chapter 4 and till now we have discussed about product analysis. Now we will discuss about material selection process. Before going into material selection process, let us see which are the factors that affect the material selection. So materials are selected on the basis of four general criteria which are performance characteristics or properties of the material. Then there will be a processing characteristics or manufacturability of the material. Then there will be environmental profile of the material. We will discuss what that is, and business consideration, mainly cost of the material and availability of the material. Let us see one by one what all these general criteria mean. The first criteria for material selection is performance characteristics. This criteria defines how a material is suitable for our purpose, what function are to be performed by our product. That will describe the suitability of material. If we want a product which should not break even after hammering, then we should have a material which is tough. So the properties of the materials which we are selecting are known as performance criteria of the materials. These properties can be mechanical properties or electrical properties or optical properties or anything. For example, some mechanical properties are if the material is hard or material is soft. If we need a material which should not deform, or a material which cannot be scratched or should have wear resistance, then the material should be hard. On the other hand, there are some requirements of material which should be soft. For example, if you want to make a cutting tool, then the material for cutting tool should be hard. But if we are making some product which should feel good on hands, for example bike handle, then material for bike handle should be soft because it should not feel hard on our hands. We can talk about performance criteria on electrical properties also. For example, if we want to select a conductor material which can easily pass the electricity, or if our goal is to protect ourselves from electricity, then we should select an insulator material. uh, the material that we are selecting is heavy or it should be lightweight. We normally tend to think that lightweight materials are better, but that is not always the case. Some applications actually requires our material to be heavy. For example, if we are manufacturing a product such as paperweight, then the weight of the material, the heavier the material, the better it is. The materials can be tough or brittle, it can be elastic or plastic, even it can be transparent or it can be opaque. So if we are selecting rooftop, then we can say that okay, I can either select metal rooftop or plastic rooftop. But metal rooftop is uh, conductor of heat, so it will heat up easily, where plastic rooftop will not heat up that much easily. Metal rooftop is opaque, so it will not let the light pass, while plastic rooftop is transparent, so it will let the light pass. Metal rooftop will have more strength than plastic rooftop. So there are many comparisons that can be done, but these are performance characteristics which actually defines how better or worse a material is performing for our purpose. Another criteria can be the processing characteristics, how easily the material can be processed. That is also a selection criteria. For example, if we want a material which is strong, and we have option of selecting steel and tungsten, And if we choose tungsten, then manufacturing of tungsten uh, is very difficult, because machining on of tungsten will be very hard, as tungsten is a hard material. We cannot machine it very easily. So how easy the material is to manufacture is also a criteria. Also, technology required in manufacturing will also be a criteria, because different material will need to be processed using different technologies. For example, take our example, our previous example of metal sheet and plastic sheet. If we are thinking about using metal sheets, then metal sheets will be uh, manufactured by first using rolling operations to make a sheet of any material, and then using embossing operation to get that corrugated shape. While as if we are thinking about plastic sheets, then plastic sheets can be extruded directly using some extrusion machines. So plastic sheets are easy to manufacture compared to metal sheet. But cost and other criteria will also be there. But if we talk about processing characteristics only, then plastic sheets are better. But it does not mean that plastic materials are overall better than metal materials for manufacturing characteristics. Because if you think some different applications, such as manufacturing of nut bolt, then metal will be much easy to manufacture as compared to plastic. Because when we talk about giving intricate shapes to plastics, then injection molding process will be much difficult when compared to machining of the metal. And which tools are required for manufacturing? Do we need punch press? Do we need lathe machines? Do we need casting equipments? All these should be considered while considering the manufacturing characteristics of a material. The third criteria is environmental profile of the material. What do we mean by environmental profile? How much environmentally material is suitable, how a material is impacting our environment, that is known as environmental profile. So if the material is reusable, then its environmental profile will be better than those which are not reusable. If material is disposable or not, if we are talking about plastic, or we are talking about radioactive waste, or we are talking about biomedical waste, then dispose of those material are a very big question. So easier the if a material is easy to dispose, then it is good for environmental profile. If the material is recyclable or not, if the material harms environment in any way, that is also a consideration. We say that plastic is bad for environment, but actually plastic does not harm environment in a direct manner. Plastic is not poisonous. Plastic is just hard to dispose. That is its main problem. But there are some materials which are harmful to environment, such as radioactive materials. Radioactive materials are hard to dispose also, and if they are there, it will harm the environment also. If there is a 1 kilogram of plastic in the middle of jungle, it will not harm any animal if we have enclosed that plastic. But if there is 1 kilogram of radioactive uranium in between a jungle, it will harm the animals around it because of its radioactive decay. So if the material is harmful to environment or not, it is also a criteria. And carbon footprint of material is also a criteria for environmental profile, and there are many such criteria. What do we mean by carbon footprint? Carbon footprint is basically how much carbon dioxide or how much carbon is generated during manufacturing of material. If we talk about steel, then first of all we need to get iron from iron ore. So this manufacturing of iron will be done in a furnace, and the furnace will run on coal or electricity, and they will generate some carbon dioxide. After we get iron, we need to make an alloy, so it will also involve a furnace, and it will generate some carbon also. After that, we need to process it, and it will generate some carbon dioxide as well. So all these combined effect will be considered in carbon footprint. And there are many other factors, but these are the main considerations for environmental profile. And the fourth criteria will be business consideration. How good the material is for our business. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is cost of raw material. But this is not all for business criteria. Along with the cost of raw material, we also need to see that the raw material is available, and it is available in nearby area where we want to produce something. For example, if you are talking about a power plant, a coal-based power plant, then we must consider cost of coal. But if our location of power plant is far away from any coal mine or coal generating site, then the transportation cost will also increase. So for business consideration, just cost of raw material is not enough. There will be other criteria as well, such as availability of raw material. Cost of manufacturing will be another criteria. If we are talking about steel and plastic, we compare steel and plastic, then cost of raw material of steel and plastic will be different for sure. But also the manufacturing process cost for steel and manufacturing process cost of plastic will also be different, because both are using different machines and different processes to manufacture any product. Now, available equipment or process is also another criteria while thinking about using a material. For example, if I am running a company and I have machines which can work, I have presses which can be used for sheet metal operations, but I do not have any plastic processing unit. So I will mainly think about using sheet metal in my products. Why? Because if I want to use plastic, then I will have to buy a new machine, which will be costlier. So it will be also a business consideration. Cost of disposal when our product life cycle is over, or whatever scrap we have left, how to dispose them, and is disposal costly, or we can earn some by the byproduct. It will also be a business consideration, and there will be many such business considerations, but basically these are the four criterias on which the material selection is dependent. Now, what should be the process of material selection? Material selection is a fairly linear process. In first, we will analyze the material requirement. We will analyze our requirements, then we will screen for candidate materials, which materials are suitable according to our requirement. Then we will analyze this candidate material and choose the best material, and then we prepare a development of design data. We will prepare design data for that specific material. Let us see all these steps one by one. The first will be analysis of material requirement. Now, analysis of material requirement can be done from the working conditions, in which condition the product is need to work. If a product needs to work under high temperature, or it need to work under high pressure, or there will be some stress on the product, or there will be some pressure on the product, all these will be in the working condition and service conditions. And there can be special requirements also, such that the product which are need to work under some special chemical. Suppose a product is to be worked with sulfuric acid. So the special requirement we should be, the product should not corrode or should not dissolve in sulfuric acid. So these are all special requirements. Now, product any material which satisfies all these requirements, all these conditions, are to be considered as a candidate material. And now, and why how we can convert these operational conditions into classifying our candidate material. So these requirements will be unquantifiable. We need to quantify it. We need to convert these sentences into numbers. If I am saying that my product will have some pressure on it, I need to convert that number of pressure into the strength requirement of the property. So convert the requirement into properties is very important step. If I am saying that okay, I am building a product which must carry weight of 5 kilogram, so I will convert this requirement into proper material properties, that if I want to carry 5 kilogram, then my strength must be more than 50 Newton per mm square. So now I am looking for materials which have strength of more than 50 Newton per mm square, and I will have a list of such candidate material. Then after screening for candidate material, we will go for after screening for candidate material, we will go for analysis of these candidate materials. First, how can I find out which materials will have these specific requirements? So how to search for candidate material? There are many ways. Some of them can be we look for material properties catalogs. We select this material, we select the candidate materials from material properties catalog, and there are many catalogs which have data about materials property, and we can search that catalogs and see that which materials are suitable for our requirements. For example, if you want to find out which metals are suitable for your requirements, then you should refer SAE Handbook Part 1, which gives information about different mechanical parts, or you should refer ASM Engineered Materials Handbook Volume 1 and Volume 2. This Volume 1 and Volume 2 will give you information about metals. ASME Engineering Material Handbook will have total of 21 volume, and each volume gives information about different types of materials. For example, if you want to find something about ceramic, then you should look into volume 4. If you want to find out something about polymers, that you will look into volume 2 and 3, and volume 21 will give you information about composite. If you do not want to search these books for the material, although these are the standard sources, there are some online data available on internet. For example, this site called metdata.net, which basically means materialdata.net, is a source of hundreds and thousands of material properties. Similarly, the another site is matweb.com. This is also source of hundred of thousands of mechanical properties of materials, and we can search simply by giving the upper limit or lower limit of our materials, so that we do not need to go through all these handbooks page by page, and this will help us identifying candidate materials within 1 or 2 hours rather than 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 weeks. After we screen for candidate material, we will analyze the candidate material. The analysis can be done on performance of the product, which needs reliability of products, or such any such criteria. We will see in detail how to analyze this candidate material, and from that we will find out the best alternative available. After we have found out a best alternative, then we will prepare the design data. In the preparation of design data or development of design data based on our properties of current material, we are actually designing our product and its parts. We calculate for dimension, we calculate for heat transfer properties, and we calculate for other dimensions related to our design, and we calculate for specification of our product based on this material. That is what we mean by developing the design data. Okay, so this will be all for today's session. I hope you understand it clearly. It will be very helpful if you are thinking about going into uh, product design, because material selection, if even if you are not considering designing a new product, for existing product also you need to check that your material is optimum or not. So it will be very helpful to you in the future.